You can turn it off. Leave it on. All right. Yeah. What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. I was busy setting up my setup, and I want today to be a very relaxed show. I believe USC plays at 8 p.m., and I'm definitely trying to catch that. So we're not going to be here for a super long time unless it gets really good, really, really good. And then we'll just keep it going because, the show must go on. Yeah, they played at 8. So we're good. Fight on, Trojans. Before we get started, please give me a 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay. If you hear any buzzing, cracking, popping, or anything you shouldn't hear, let me know immediately. Even if you hear my fan in the background blowing, I do not have the luxury that Aunt Hefe enjoys, where you can have the fan in the background and still get tons of views and outperform even my channel by a lot. He's a great commentator. So when you're great, people forgive little things. I don't have that luxury. Don't cuss. Anyway, but guys, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And this one is for my guys, my OGs, my kinfolk, my defiant ones, the ones who love a higher level debate. They love that intellectual stuff. They like to move away. Mike Hatton, my brother, Doc Mike, what up, bro? Hey, I saw the little grandbaby, man, with her little jiu-jitsu uniform and her white belt. She's so cute, dude. I can't get over that. I'm gonna come by your house. I need to come see you, talk to you about some things. But anyway, yeah, so we gotta, I feel like I've been in like a spiritually dark place with a lot of the conversations that I'm having on stuff like No Jumper. And it's really because, it's very hard when you're in the room with a bunch of people who they don't care about the truth. They don't care about like respect, dignity, none of that. They are willing to do anything to get a viral moment for a bunch of clowns. I mean, every now and then, even a whale has to come up for air. You know what I'm saying? And this is what this is. I get to come up for air, have a very intellectual debate. People who are serious, people who are trying to accomplish something with their lives, and they're not trying to appeal to the lowest echelon of society in an attempt to, make money, right? So that's what these debates are. Recently, I sat on No Jumper with this lady named Tam. Share her this if you guys. And, everyone was telling me, oh, this person is great. She's amazing. She's a good debater, blah, 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 blah. We even went as far as to get her some flowers because she was doing really good. And then I found out she was just a liberal feminist who couldn't stand on the same values that she was trying to claim everyone else was void of, right? Lots of hypocrisy. Just when I thought I had found a kindred soul, nope. Per usual, radical feminist, hypocrite. That's the way it is. But it's all well and good. And that conversation reminded me of this guy, the Amzaing Lucas, right? This, I don't know if you guys know about the Amzaing Lucas. He is a grifter on YouTube who pretends to care about things he couldn't give a damn about in an attempt to get advertiser dollars on YouTube. And it's not an attempt because he's very successful at doing it. I've actually had a chance. You said it, Slaughter, professional victim. But we went back to it's like we went back to the Stone Age with that one. We thought we were just getting past that with the 4 years of Biden, and No Jumper tried to drop us back in the cesspool, but it's not going to happen. Guys, once again, please let me know if you hear any buzzing, popping, cracking, or whatever, because I actually have a little buzzing in my headset, but I think that's just me, so it's good. But the Amzaing Lucas is this guy who, I've actually had interaction with him. I've actually been on his show, and I was fooled. I thought this guy, I've called in Cards Nation. I've actually called in on Disagreement Day. And typical of all liberals and the grifters who exploit them, it's just pure lies. If you disagree with Lucas, he takes you down. If you have a talking point or an angle that is better than, a rebuttal he can like quickly think up, or that he can't quickly rebuttal, he takes you down. I've literally interacted with this man, and he lives in LA. Last I was on his panel, and I was just sitting here blown away. Like, this guy claims to live in LA. I never seen him. He claims to be like this pro-black superhero in LA. Now, if you're from LA, there are a couple of places that all pro-black people frequent, whether that's Leimert Park, whether that's Shades of Africa, even Taj Mahal. There's so many places that pro-black people in LA gather, right? There's bookstores. There's even coffee shops that pro-black people gather at, whether it's Sippin' Sonder, Haroon Coffee, whatever. I've never seen this guy ever in any pro-black space in Los Angeles, but he is on the internet telling you that he is this super pro-black guy who is down to risk it all for black people. But if you ask Lucas, which is what I did, can you show me any work that you've done in the community that can make me know, that can let me know, like, yo, this guy is the real freaking deal. He's a pro-black. He's been out in these streets grinding for his people. And this is his qualifier. That's what this is called. It's called a qualifier. It's things that you have done that let me know that when you speak on black issues, you have a firm grasp on what's going on. So when you speak, I know that you're speaking from experience and not just, ignorant opinion, right? Anybody who speaks on pro-black issues or black issues, period, you must make sure they have qualifiers. If you don't, you run the risk of people like the Amzaing Lucas going on major platforms and embarrassing you as a group, because he's not connected to it enough to understand the need to, protect our image, right? Everything with him is like, what can I do to get a view or a click on a video? It's kind of like the same thing Lush does. He's loosely familiar with things, but he claims to be a advocate, right? He claims to represent you, and it just can't happen. I like to show, my qualifiers, because like, I'm real. I've been in the field. You guys, Brandon Zakoon and and all this stuff, right? Bro, I've been out here working in my community. This picture alone, y'all know who that is? That's Viral from the Viral Way podcast at my house for a community activist luncheon that we had. They came to the house. The ladies got together, put together a really good meal for us all. It was beautiful. But we've been out here. I could even say Viral Way, like, nah, bro has, I've worked with him on community things within the community. My boy Say Who Emotep, my boy Ian, my boy Lou Urias, my boy Patrick, his wife Camille. We've done this. We've been in these streets. I promise you to God, Amzaing Lucas couldn't show you a single picture like that. I promise you he couldn't, because I don't believe he's connected to the black community in that way. He'll talk about it. He'll make you think he's like, super connected. But in reality, unless he's been a part of something recent that I don't know about, nah, man. I'm not buying it. This is another thing that we did right here. Political training, where we learned history from, real Black Panthers, older men who were in the Black Panther movement, who went to jail, one of whom went to jail, got life in prison, behind his work as a Panther, and was fortunate enough to get out, right? That's what this is. This is political training, where they teach you the real history as opposed to just his story, right? You see right there, one of the brothers who was a guest speaker, right? That was at the Pan-African Art in Long Beach. There goes Miss Cambone, rest in peace. Akinsanya Cambone's wife, the man who drew the Black Panther coloring book. The one that they got in a lot of trouble for because the FBI said that it was teaching little kids to delete police officers. The man who drew that coloring book, he's an artist. He has an art museum in Long Beach, and we went there, and he said, the only way I'll teach you is if you commit to coming every single day for a month. I'm talking about Sunday to Sunday for a month. And if one of you guys misses a single day, it's off. I'm cutting it off. We all showed up every single day for 30 days for this political training. And he even brought in a councilman from Long Beach, D. Andrews, to speak to us and give us the real. You know what I'm saying? So when I speak my opinion, and it might be wrong of me to do this, but I'm trying to kind of give everybody an accelerated course on where all this is going eventually. Because when you get in the room with real activists, real political activists, all this romanticized shit is going right out the window. I'm sorry to tell y'all that, because these people are realists. They've been in prison. This guy right here, Akinsanya Cambone, I got to go see my brother. He's had the judge's gavel come down on a life sentence, saying he's a terrorist and going to prison, being on death row. He was on death row. So when he talks to you, he don't want to hear no bullshit. He don't want to hear no fluff and idealism and all this crap. He's like, dude, you need to talk to me for real, because I've sacrificed everything for this. There go my boy Clay, my boy Heru, Ashley. What was that other light-skinned girl name? Ashley, another one? Damn, I forgot her name. This light-skinned girl. But I remember Ashley. But this is what I'm saying. All this art you see, this brother in the middle made that art. This brother done been to Rwanda, been to Africa many a times. In Africa, they refer to him as General Cambone, high-ranking general in the revolutionary movement. These are the type of rooms, that I've been in, sitting down, discussing ideas with these people. Oh, here goes some of the ladies right here. But y'all can have every one of them except for the one to the right. She's mine. She's already spoken for. But I've been in these rooms doing this work. Sorry, I took myself out. My bad. So when I speak, I don't speak like a person. I don't speak like I don't try to come off as like an asshole and a know-it-all, but I definitely speak as a person who is not new to this. This is me doing the community self-defense training, right? The guy, you guys, he's a fake black belt, this type of stuff. Look, man, I've dedicated my stuff, rolling around and grappling and boxing with these brothers, man. These dudes is, this dude Yakanati is wild. He's freaking strong as hell. I've done it. I've done the work. I know there's no way somebody, see, this is what I'm saying. I think if you try different you and Lucas can work it. Bro, a person who's done the work cannot work with somebody who's grifting off of the movement, so to speak. Someone who's unrealistic. Right here, Like Minds Community Business Rush, where we got together every Tuesday and went to a black-owned business and gave them some business and made sure they had a little influx of cash every week. I've done the work. I've done the work. And I continue to do it in a different way now, right? But that's the difference. I really, when you guys like, Lucas gets a lot of views. Oh, he's pro-black. All I'm asking, where's the work? Where's the work? Right here, Community Power Seminar. This thing blew up. We had people coming from all over the state coming to this doggone thing. This thing blew up right here. But all I'm saying is, what are your qualifiers to speak on this stuff with the authority that you claim? What makes you feel like I can go on Piers Morgan and speak on this issue with authority when you never even been in the community doing none of the work? Here's when the ladies started a podcast. This is years back. This is a long time ago. But what I'm saying is, this is why the Amzaing Lucas, when I interacted with him, it was like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're not realistic with what you're saying. You're triggering people, emotional people, by spewing rhetoric that you would never spew in the company of the YouTube ad revenue executives. This is when we did our night at the movies, when we took all these people to the movie for free. We rented out the whole movie theater. And it wasn't no little rinky dink. It was a big ass Cinemark downtown Long Beach. Shut the whole movie theater down. And we did it twice. Right? Told them, it's on us. We got you. Bring the fam. Have a good time. We had to do like multiple shows because there was so many of us. They told me, look, if you ever do something like that again, please let us know in advance, because we shut down the whole movie theater. And then this was the community picnic right here. You know, the crew. We're doing it. We were doing it. So, and I just had to give a little, history for the people who really don't know me. And then this is the study group I ran, the ARP, the African Restoration Project, right? Every Thursday, I ran this study group and taught Swahili lessons, gave food, all types of stuff. But I've done the work. So when you guys are, I know you guys are looking at me, Brandon, you this, you that. Listen, man, this little mess y'all be talking about, it don't faze me, right? Because I know 99% of the people talking couldn't even be counted on to show up 3 days in a row on behalf of these people that they claim to care so much about. And one of those people, is Amzaing Lucas. Like, bro, what have you done? And when I say what have you done, I don't mean bro has to do no big ass events or nothing like that. I'm saying, like, have you actually been in the field talking to black folks, dealing with the trauma and the different things that they've dealt with, which keeps them from really, connecting to their people on a real level to where they can be an asset and an ally within their own community, because that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And once you do that, and I'm not talking about on the internet where someone says something you don't like, right? you can just press block or delete or remove. No, being in a room with these people, face to face, talking to them. They telling you about their childhood and my daddy did this and did that to me. And now when I look at black men, I can only feel comfortable with a white man, right? Because you're going to deal with stuff like that. Have you really sat down with your people so you can become aware of the trauma that they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis in your community? I don't think Lucas has. I don't. Because once you've done that, there's no way you can get on a large platform and try to play to hyper-emotionalism. Because our people suffer from hyper-emotionalism like it's a disease. Right? Our people suffer from hyper-emotionalism like it's a disease. Right? And so when you speak on their behalf, you have to always remember to put their issues first. But a lot of these YouTubers and stuff, they put their money, their pocket first. If they got to get on there and make black people look foolish, like buffoons, they'll do it because they don't care, really. They're like, no, this is just a way for me to get a bag, right? This is just a way for me to get a bag. I ain't talking ish for views would mean I don't allow people up. And y'all definitely going to be given the link to come up here, right? I'm on my laptop. I don't know what you mean by I'm on an Android, but okay. But anyway, I'm not wrong on it, Jason Rex. And Jason, let me tell you something. Let's do this. You come up and tell me how I'm wrong. I'm going to put the link in the comments in a few minutes. You can come up and tell me how I'm wrong. I don't need to debate Lucas. Lucas, I've already attempted to debate him. And his answer, when he sees you have a superior understanding of black issues than he does, he unplugs you. Lucas, when you tell Lucas, hey, what about this and this and this? He says, well, I don't have that experience. I grew up in a home with both of my parents. So that may be a reality for you, but it's not a reality for me. So why are you trying to bring that? He came from a certain background. And if you even suggest that he should try to learn others' background, he's not open to that. He's not open to that. How do you speak for a community when you don't even want to hear or listen to the perspective of people coming from a situation that 70% of our people come from, which is single parent homes raised by single mothers? Well, I didn't experience that, so I don't want to deal with it. That's what Lucas is. That's what Lucas is. He's really a black elitist, right? The person who says, oh, black communities don't need more police presence, but he's never actually lived in a black community that was violent. So he's like, I never been to the south side of Chicago, or I never been to East Oakland because I live out in the white folk area. But I know that you putting more police in that community is going to be harmful to black people. Meanwhile, those people in that community, they're like, we need more police. We need more police. That's the reality. Y'all talk about, I grew up around white folks. And that speaks to kind of the hypocrisy of our people. Brandon must have grew up around white folks. But then they'll run to Amzaing Lucas, who clearly didn't grow up around nobody black. And will never tell you where he grew up and who he grew up around. I don't even think Lucas has even had a single friend of his on his platform. Like, I knew this kid since I was 10 years old. Because they're probably all white, right? That's the reality. But I'm going to play you what happened on Piers Morgan. Lucas made a crazy ass post. It caught the attention of Piers. Piers then invited Lucas up to discuss it with a panel. And I want to make sure I got the right spot in the video, because he talked to several people, but this post was crazy. And I love that Piers. Now I feel like Piers is a pretty straight shooter. And he called out Lucas and brought him up. And Lucas, in true form, confirmed every single thing, stereotypical thing, white folks who are not friends to black folks say about us. And I think he did it purposely. No, there's nothing wrong with growing up around white folks. But like you're saying, laughing like Saga, he's disingenuous as hell. Let me get this super chat since I got one. Sticks and Stones LA. I think you're doing the Lord's work battling these degenerates on No Jumper. It needs to be put on blast, bro. Tam is ignorant, 100%. And she's very selective. Because when I said something about Munchie, she was like, you won't say it to his face. But then when Jaleese was popping about Munchie, she was sitting there just eating it, just smiling. Somebody who she could actually do something about saying it. And what was funny is these people tell you, I advocate for black folks. But when I said what I said about Munchie, which wasn't even nothing, which is what's all over the internet about him. Oh, I bet you won't say it to his face. Why do you bet I won't say it to his face? Because you believe that if I said it to his face, he would aggress against me in a violent way, right? And she would be happy that that happened because her friend, right, is the exact type of man that she says is not a detriment to his community, but really is just a victim, right? Not saying it's about Munchie specifically, but what I'm saying is like, we got to understand that black women, a large amount of them, no matter how pretty or smart they seem, these women have a sadistic craving for hyper emotional, violent gang members, thugs, and degenerates. These are the men they prefer to reproduce with because they've been corrupted. They've been corrupted. And inside they're violent and vicious and sadistic. And so when they see a man like that, they say, ooh, I see myself in him. So they spread their legs open, have a baby by the dude, then complain about what a bad father he is, right? Understand that. Yvette on Baby Boy had a good job. She seemed like she had some sense, right? Peanut, her mama had some sense, owned a home, worked a good job. But both of them was laid up with a 2-bit thug. A dude didn't have shit going on. Eventually a murderer, right? There's just something about the black women and their craving to spread their legs for hood dudes, hood boogers. This is what they love. Go to the NBA YoungBoy concert. And I said it. I said, you are a hypocrite. I called it out on his face. Right? And everyone's like, oh, she cooked you. She did. She that. No. This is a person who embodies everything No Jumper is and everything No Jumper tries to display about black folks, but has the ability to cover it up and present it with a pretty look, right? To beauty it up. But when you peel back the layers on the onion, you see it's just the same corrupt mindset. It's the same corrupt mindset, just with a better looking exterior. And I saw through it immediately. She got cooked. And you know on No Jumper when someone gets cooked, because all the No Jumper degenerates got to jump on board with that person. And like, yeah, this person was amazing. This person was great. And Lush was like, yeah, she cooked the boo. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give y'all some game about No Jumper today. Name one other person who in their first week of being on No Jumper Lush got cooked so bad that he felt the need to challenge me to a debate. Challenge to a debate. Name one person who came on No Jumper, destroyed Lush so bad that he was like, I'm challenging you to a debate fade immediately. That's when you know somebody is really dropping jewels and is speaking above these people's level of intellect. And I don't think I'm speaking above Lush's level of intellect, but I think what I say kind of pokes a lot of holes in the arguments that Lush make. That's why he had to demand. They paid me to sit at the gray table with Lush and cook his ass in a debate because they needed to know, damn, is this guy really as good as he says he is? Is he really as smart and well-read as he says he is? You guys have seen the rooms I've been in. These rooms that you saw me in, Lush is persona non grata. Not welcome. Could never be in those rooms. Ever. Ever. The history that I learned from the people who lived it, he will never be privy to that. So when y'all come at me, understand, I've forgotten more than you will ever know, most of y'all. I've sat in the face of these people. I've sat in the face of Panthers who said, damn, bro, the Panthers tried to kill me because they didn't want me to be able to speak on the things that the FBI was accusing them of that were actually true, but they thought I'd roll over on them. So they tried to set me up. I sat in rooms with men who was like, bro, Huey P was like a gangster. Nobody from the Panthers messed with him, period. They didn't speak no ill of him because bro walked around with dudes big enough to be an NFL offensive lineman and they would beat your ass to death. Not bad, you be dead and they'll bury your ass somewhere. I've been in these rooms. Y'all got the romanticized version of this shit. I've been in these rooms getting the real. So when I speak on it, it would behoove you to watch and learn and say, damn, there's a reason that this dude came to these conclusions based on some facts. This dude came to this conclusion. Why do you think Kwame Ture never joined the Black Panthers? Stokely Carmichael. You got dudes like Bobby Seale, loose relationship with it. That's the real. Did y'all know Huey P. Newton loved cocaine and white women? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Stokely Carmichael and the Panthers fell out because Stokely Carmichael said, I ain't being a part of nothing that allows white folks involvement in it? Huey P. Newton wasn't this major pro-black figure y'all think. And I sat with the people who was right up next to him every day and talked to him. But y'all don't want to hear that, though. Y'all don't want to hear that the Black Panthers were a political party that wanted to be a part of the American political system. They were not preaching separation or removal from the system. They wanted to be sitting up in Congress. They was a bunch of college-educated Negroes. They love white folks. But they tried to force their way into the door of American politics. They weren't going to bring you any salvation. They were going to get in the White House, start taking them bribes just like everybody else, and y'all was going to be, yeah. Just like the Black Caucus, same thing. They just wanted to be that earlier. But y'all don't want to hear that, though. Y'all didn't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. And that's the same shit Amzaing Lucas is doing to you. The banana in the tailpipe. I'm really on your side, but I really don't never do shit for you. Y'all show me some community work Lucas done. I shut my mouth. Show me some community work Lucas or any of these people y'all love listening to have done, and I will shut my mouth today. None. Make you mad, get paid on YouTube for you watching the trauma, further traumatizing you, and go spend his money and drop a video on you once a day or once a week. And then sometimes he'll go a couple of weeks without nothing. That's the real. So when I speak on this shit, understand this is coming from years of freaking experience, research, and doing the work. Nothing y'all say could ever discredit me. But I don't go into all that because I understand a lot of these fools just don't have that level of comprehension. But let me get to this video so y'all can get up here. So here we go. Lucas grifting on Piers Morgan and then gets cooked.
I didn't like Charlie Kirk and I didn't like what he stood for. I think you could make both points respectfully.
Okay, Luke has been, I've been pointed out to me that you've posted some messages about Charlie Kirk on your Instagram, which we're going to show here. One is a post that's a parody of a Jubilee debate. I'm doing one of these myself soon, titled Charlie Kirk versus Bullet. Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number two is a mocked up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods and hashtagged both Charlie Kirk and his widow. And the third was an image of a sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious.
Look at his face. Look at Lucas's face. He's smiling. He's smiling. The man got an American flag hat on, but makes his money off of convincing you that he hates America and that he hates Charlie Kirk. He's smiling. This is funny to him. Do you think Malcolm X would have been sitting up there smiling and laughing? Do you think Malcolm X would even have said, even Malcolm X, when he said the comment about the chickens coming home to roost, right? Elijah Muhammad silenced Malcolm X for several, I think it was 30 days. He silenced Malcolm X because Elijah Muhammad, though Malcolm X was a wise man, Elijah Muhammad was Malcolm X's teacher. Malcolm X was not Elijah Muhammad's teacher. Understand that. And no matter, the Bible says a student cannot be greater than than his teacher, but he can be like his teacher if he is taught perfectly. Malcolm X did not understand in all his wisdom what an insensitive comment like that, like what he said, could do, not to the white person who died or to the white folks who suffered from whatever calamity. Elijah Muhammad understood what that could do to the image of pro-black movements. He understood the detrimental impact that could have on movements that are meant to uplift the black man, woman, and child. Malcolm X wasn't there yet, and he needed to be taught a lesson by his teacher. But what do you do when the buffoon who's spewing the nonsense doesn't have a teacher? I have a teacher. I have several teachers, several of them. I can name them all, and they still live in. Hey, bro, who taught you this person, this person, this person? Can Lucas name a single elder that he can call a teacher, that he looks up to, reveres, and respects, even if they don't agree on everything? He can't. I don't agree with everything Siddiqui Bakari says, but he's one of my teachers. I don't agree with everything Akinsanya Cambone says, but he's one of my teachers. I don't agree with everything Kwadwo Obeng says, but he's one of my teachers. These dudes living in LA. But see, when someone's allowed to speak on your struggle, when someone's allowed to speak on your movement, your sojourn in America, without being vetted, that's what they do. They say things that could hurt your movement, and then when the people respond, when people call them up to speak on it, When people hold them accountable, they laugh because it's funny to
Charlie
them.
Kirk versus Bullet. Can one bullet to the
Can one bullet outsmart the neck? Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Ugh. He's joking.
neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number 2 is a mocked up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods.
He makes a fake flyer, Kirk and Twerk, Neck of the Wood. This stuff is not funny. If he had
both Charlie Kirk and
if he had a teacher like somebody like Elijah Muhammad, they would have silenced him. Hey, you need to just be quiet. Because you're saying a lot of stuff that can have an impact that goes far beyond you.
his widow. And the third was an image of a surprise.
Look, that's funny to him. That's funny to him. Nah, this funny as fuck, cuz. Just ignorant. Ignorant. Look at this idiot. This is funny to Amzaing Lucas. All the things you fought for. Black people used to be, I remember Tariq Nasheed said this, and it's one thing I agree with him, but he said it in present day, and I don't think it's true anymore. He said, black people are the moral compass of America. No, we used to be. Black folks used to be the moral compass of America. When did we become bloodthirsty savages with no sympathy or remorse for anything? Dog, if Al Sharpton got on stage and spoke against people doing this type of shit, Al Sharpton then got his head busted over some black issues. But this little punk, he would never even go outside on behalf of black people. Lucas don't hang around nobody black. Show me a picture. If Al Sharpton came out and condemned these people, hey, we don't celebrate nobody death. Why does he feel like it's okay to do that and not only celebrate it, but mock this person? And he won't do it on YouTube because they'll pull him down. So he goes to X and does it. And Instagram. But this is who you guys like. This is who you want to let speak for you. Now he's on Piers Morgan saying, yeah, this is what black folks think. Nah, I don't buy it.
Sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious Ways with the hashtag Charlie Kirk killing and praying hands as an emoji. And you're laughing as I show these. Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor. And I happen to have gotten a bit of a taste of that over the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so when it came to the right and their memes of George Floyd. Happy birthday being sober for 5 years. When they came to their memes of Breonna Taylor, when it came to their memes of Trayvon Martin, the Trayvon challenge, right? When it came to their memes of Tamir Rice. So I don't know what the issue is. I think I'm engaging in the freedom of speech that the right has been advocating for these last 10 years and mocking and making light of Black death, something that Charlie Kirk himself did time and time again. As a matter of fact, I would argue that if Charlie Kirk, instead of focusing his time on Black culture and Black on Black crime, if he had spent a modicum of his time focusing on the white youth, that perhaps he would still be with us today.
Are you pleased he's dead?
No, absolutely not.
So how did you feel about his murder?
I don't think.
How did you feel about his murder?
How do I feel about his murder?
Yeah.
Well, I think a quote by a great author sums up the sentiment of millions of Americans around the world. And that is, some cause happiness wherever they go, others when they go. And I think that's a sentiment that is palpable amongst many Americans around the world due to the hate and vitriol and bile that Charlie Kirk sowed. So I think there was a
just to be clear, unless I misheard you, then you are happy he died.
No, I don't think
that's exactly what he said. That's exactly. He basically used the quote to say he's happy that Charlie Kirk died. But see what I'm saying? This is all a joke to him. Show me where Charlie Kirk made a meme making fun of anyone's death. You some redneck living in Podunk, probably a 15-year-old kid, a 13-year-old kid could make some bullshit about George Floyd and put it on the internet and say it gets shared. Lucas will then take that and say, oh, Donald Trump did that. This other prominent white person did that. But he's lying. These people would never do that because they have a ounce of decency and they understand the optics of it is bad. White folks could feel a way and you'll never know. Trust me, they're good at that. Your landlord will be smiling dead up in your face and put an eviction notice on your door the next day. They're good at that. It's hyper emotional black folks who show everybody their hand and exactly how they feel. Black folks didn't have nothing to do with Charlie Kirk dying. Why are we jumping out becoming the face of his death? Let white folks sort that out among themselves. Why are you inserting yourself into that issue? Why are you taking the heat that the Marxists and the socialists and the communists should be taking? Because that's what people like Amzaing Lucas are paid to do. Let's take an issue that should cause white folks to turn a lens on themselves and insert ourselves in the middle of it so that they can deflect the shit off of them onto us. That's what's going on. Jason Rex, please stop talking about debate him. You know, you're not a realistic person. I've been on his show before. I've been on his channel for Disagreement Day. I've already told you what happened. But you're going to keep, it's like the retards who follow Tariq. Debate Tariq, you know good and damn well Tariq ain't going to debate. When I got in the room with him, he starts saying, don't listen to this guy. This guy's an agent. He's a Fed. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen. He didn't want to debate. He's scared. Someone like Lucas is scared. Because if I get in front of him, I'm going to say, okay, show me what work you've done. Other than being on the YouTube, getting paid by the white man to pretend to cosplay a black activist. And he'll have no answer for it. He's smart enough to not even put himself in that type of situation. You debate him. Be a man for once in your life. Look at the things that Lucas is doing that represents black people poorly or shines a bad light on black folks and say, hey, dude, that's not what we're about. Do that. Do that. Yeah, and you're right, Cards Nation. George Floyd was a father, but Charlie Kirk was a father who actually took care of his children. That's the difference.
I think as far as happiness is an emotion that
you literally just read me a quote which implies you're happy. You talked about some people's death bring happiness.
The purpose of the quote was to say that there are some people who have caused harm and death and turmoil to other groups of people, such as Charlie Kirk, whether it's black people, whether it's, trans people.
No, I heard the quote.
The list
just to be
goes on.
clear, you said that the quote ends in that their death brings happiness, but you've denied that you were happy. But when you tell me a quote
I don't disagree. That
when you tell me a quote like that, I
are,
presume from that quote you're implying that actually you are happy he died because he deserved it. He had it coming.
No, not at all. I don't think those are ever words that I've ever mentioned verbatim ever. I think there is a sentiment that when someone who lives their life in evil and wickedness, according to the scripture, the power of life and death is in your tongue. And the hate and the vile and the venom that he spewed, I don't know what to tell you. As the scripture says, as he professed, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I think his focus should have been on a community that, clearly is in problem. That I find it interesting that there's more scrutiny on people who may make memes that they've done of George Floyd and other black victims than on the white male youth that did this tragedy, as some would call it. I think
why would you be offended about the memes to people like George Floyd, which I found contemptible at the time? if they're the same ones that you're talking about. Why would you profess to be offended by those if you're quite happy to do the same kind of thing yourself?
I think the point that I'm making by the means that I'm putting out, which clearly has caused outrage in church.
No, he's the same type of person. He's the same. Those white folks who saying that shit about George Floyd, Lucas would say the same shit about George Floyd if he was around a group of them. This is the kind of guy who grifts blacks and then goes around whites and laughs at how dumb black people are for actually falling for his crap. The same way Tariq Nasheed is. Shut your police ass up. Look at this idiot. The real black historian king. You're an idiot. I'm gonna put the link up here. You'll be able to say he listen. When Tariq Nasheed opened his Hidden History Museum, it was a bunch of white folks up in there sitting at tables while Negroes was sitting at folding chairs. His publicist is white. His lawyer is Asian. He don't do no business with nobody. Why he gets haircut by a Mexican? But he makes money pretending to be down with you, but can't never show you him being around any of you. Please, Lucas, produce me a picture of you hanging out or a video with you hanging around anybody black in your free time. It won't happen. It won't happen. Because he's not really down with you. You are the paycheck. Your emotion and trauma is the paycheck. That's it.
I find it a bit hypocritical that the people for years who said fuck your feelings are now overwhelmed with feelings at the moment. But the point that
he says, I find it hypocritical that the people who say F your feelings are all of a sudden like, oh, look, I feel this way about it. But isn't it hypocritical to say you were hurt by George Floyd memes, but then turn around and do Charlie Kirk memes? If something offends me, I'm not going to go out and do it to someone else. I'll say, dude, listen, that offended me. Why did you do that? I'm not going to go say, oh, see, you did it to me. Do you realize how ignorant that is and hypocritical? If I tell somebody, hey, man, don't go out telling my business, man. I'm not going to be like, yeah, now I'm going to run out and tell your business. That's that beta male, female shit. And he's the worst type of person because he says he was raised by both his parents. This is the beta male stuff. And that's what you have. Sassy beta males jumping up in front of panels of white folks saying, yeah, the way I feel is the way all black people feel. And that's a damn lie. I didn't celebrate George Floyd's death. I ain't going to celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. These are tragedies. But Charlie Kirk was not a drug addict criminal. So I'm not going to put George Floyd on the same level as Charlie Kirk. One person contributed to our society. Another person did not. They harmed our society. That doesn't make one life more than the next, but in a way, one did carry a little bit more positive weight than the other one. But what the Bible says, since they want to bring up the scriptures, the wages for sin is death. That means when you die, all those sins are gone. They bring it up scripture, not me. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. That means when you die, the slate is wiped clean in the eyes of God. So why, when the guy died, you decide to go after him? Oh, wait, because you know, Lucas, that you were too much of a wimp to face Charlie Kirk when he was living. Why didn't he go after Charlie Kirk when he was living? Lucas, you could have went to one of these colleges and debated Charlie Kirk, but he knew he would have got killed. Ain't nothing worse than people who throw shots when you're no longer here. Because that's how you know they were cowards and couldn't face you in real life. That's like Lush on No Jumper. He know he can't beat me in a debate, so he waits till I'm not on the show to try to throw shots at me. That's a coward. I know the dude is just better than me at this, so let me wait till he's not here to defend himself to throw shots at him. That's how you know you suck. Oh wait, a black man who's not more messed up than me. Let me tear him down and go get assistance from a black woman to do it. The white liberal degenerate's number one partner in crime, the black woman, the feminist. We know what this is. This is old play. These are old plays they're trying to run.
That I was making was to point out the hypocrisy that the right has on a variety and myriad of issues, as we just saw with Pam Bondi on the freedom of speech. I think the issue is that they have scapegoated people like Pam Bondi for what is the crime of Donald Trump. The same thing they did with Anthony Fauci. We saw this when it came to the Second Amendment. They banned bump stock ban. They had a bump stock ban under Donald Trump while they were fear-mongering about Biden take away your guns. But as we saw, there was no outrage, there was no protest, and we come to find out that it was unconstitutional. So I think this hypocrisy is ubiquitous within the right, and I think my memes expose that hypocrisy.
And what about
He doesn't have humanity. Lucas is the type of person, if he saw a black person land in the gutter, he wouldn't say a damn thing. He'll walk by. He don't give a damn. But he's like, yo, I can make money off of this. Let me go grift on the internet. What does it say right here? Nietzsche. Beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. Let that sink in for a second. Lucas has become the very monster that he claims to be fighting. When you get to the point where you're celebrating death, talking about, I'm doing it because y'all did it. They really own you. They say, look, we do this, monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. With no regard for how monkey will be, with no regard for the consequences that monkey will suffer if monkey does it. That's it. That's it. You think Lucas ever read that quote? Do you think he ever read that quote? Y'all, black people are not going to bust a grape against white folks. I want you to know that. So when you get somebody talking tough about white folk, stop listening to them. Do y'all want to know why I'm certain that the black man will never rise up in this country against white folks? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why I'm certain that black folks will never rise up against the white man in America. I know that with a certainty we will never rise up against white folks in America. Your best bet is to get along, prosper, or leave. I'll tell you why. Look at history, my people. Look at basic damn history. If you didn't rise up against the white man, and let's not even talk about slavery. Let's talk about post-slavery. When there were 180,000 armed black soldiers who fought in the Civil War against the white folks. Let's talk about post-slavery, when the white folks was stringing your ass up on a daily basis. What did black people do? Did they raise an army? Did they raise an army? They say I throw out statistics without knowing. Right here, approximately 180,000, 186,000 black men served as soldiers, not cooks, soldiers in the Union Army and about 19,000 served in the Union Navy. That's over 200,000. These soldiers, known as the United States Colored Troops, comprised of about 10% of the total Union forces and played a crucial role in the Union victory. If there were 200,000 Negroes with guns, why didn't they just say, you know what, damn it, we could carve out our own piece of this country and turn on the white men? That's why I know black people will never turn against the white man in America. It was an army of 200,000 of you, and you didn't do it. So you think this little army of 300 of you that's in the local the local gang gonna do it? You sound dumb. You sound dumb. Your thinking is flawed. When the white man was hanging you from a tree by your neck, setting your body on fire and castrating you, Black folks didn't rise up to do nothing about that. They just, look, man, don't go out at night. Don't get caught in the wrong neighborhood. Black folks didn't do nothing about that. You know who did something about it? White folk. Even here, it says only 10% of the army was made up of blacks. If I was fighting for my freedom and I knew if one side lose, I'm going to be back in chains. Bro, shouldn't we have made up like 50 to 40% of the army? Every damn black person should have been like, I'm going out to fight because I ain't going back to that damn cotton field. Only 10%. And this is when Negroes was living under the harshest conditions, worse than an animal. They did this. So you think a bunch of comfortable niggas is about to rise up? You think a bunch of comfortable Negroes who go eat chicken wings and watch sports and about to watch this USC game, about to rise up on the white man? You must be outside your mind if you believe that. No, because we are a minority. We wasn't a minority back then. When we were damn near half the population, we didn't rise up. So what makes you think they're going to do it now? So when you let these so-called black leaders blow smoke up your ass, just know you just dumb. You're dumb. You're not looking at this based on reality. And really, there's no need to rise up against white folks. White folks ain't doing shit to you. White folks ain't stopping nothing you doing. Because I brought up this point that Lucas will never address. Why is it that in the places where the Klan is most active, Mississippi, Alabama, down country, can't see at night country, no stoplights, why is it that when you go to these places, the number one person killing blacks is other blacks? Y'all talk about that boy got strung up down there in Mississippi. I wouldn't be surprised if some black folks did it. No, Brandon, that ain't gonna happen. Well, what happened to the black girl who disappeared in Mexico? Who friends killed her? What about her? We kill each other daily like it's nothing and celebrate it. But y'all gonna tell me, oh yeah, we gonna rise up against white, but you ain't rising up against shit that don't look like you. I ain't making a damn thing up. I don't make up nothing. You're just too much of a bitch to accept reality. That's what it is. These Negroes still believe in the tooth fairy. And if you tell them the tooth fairy ain't real, they get mad at you and wants to cut you. And this guy, Lucas, knows you better than you know yourself, so he just exploits you. The way black people like to think with this cognitive dissonance, it makes people feel justified in exploiting you.
Tagging his widow in a mocked-up promotion poster of Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods. How do you justify
I think
targeting? Oh, well, hang on. How do you justify targeting his widow?
I think that's a bit disingenuous to use such hyperbolic language as targeting. I think it's more of a strategic plan of attack to get the message out to more people. When we saw Erica Kirk, she had a moment to speak for unity within the country, left and right, and she chose to fundraise. She then chose to use the scripture and talk, very nicely of her, past husband. And I understand that. But by that same token, there are people who were absolutely harmed by the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk put out. And that rhetoric actually codified in many cases in many states. So
what is Amzaing Lucas doing for the people who were harmed by Charlie Kirk's rhetoric? See, because what y'all don't understand is the only people who were really harmed by Charlie Kirk's rhetoric were liberal, white, demented students on college campuses. But I'm telling you right now, that is Lucas's main audience. Y'all think Lucas's main audience is black. Lucas's main audience is white. He is the validation for the radical ignorance of the liberal left. People like him, people who think black people don't know how to use computers and don't know how to go down to the DMV to get an ID. These people, the left needs people to validate their idea or their claim, their narrative that black people are just a bunch of victims who can't fend for themselves. They need black people to validate that. Your D.L. Hughley's of the world, your Nina Turners, your Joy Reids. See, no one will believe what these people say about black folks unless you got black folks who are willing to co-sign it. And that's what Amzaing Lucas is. Real talk. That's what he is. He's up against a panel of white folks pretending to go against them. They're calling him out. But really, he's working for another group of white folks who want to keep the black victimhood narrative going. This is a joke for him. Why would you go after this man's wife? That's my question. Why would you go after this man's wife? She didn't do anything. Oh, she chose to fundraise. You mean the same way they fundraised at George Floyd's funeral? Stop it.
I think it's abhorrent and actually perverse to expect people who are harmed by his rhetoric, harmed by someone who had anti-black, anyone who wasn't white and Christian.
Can anyone show me? Listen, let's do this. I'll give you $100 on Cash App today if you come up here and give me a link to Charlie Kirk spewing anti-black rhetoric. Easy $100. I will give you $100 today if you bring me a video link up here showing me where Charlie Kirk was spewing anti-black hate rhetoric. They all listen. Easy $100. Oh, easy $100. Bring me a video where Charlie Kirk is like, black people bad, they ain't shit. We should kill them. We should do this and do that to them. That's like somebody saying, man, these kids bad as hell. Why you spewing anti-kid? Why are you spewing hatred towards those kids? Nah, I'm pointing out a condition. Yeah, catch me later. Catch you later. All right? Yeah, catch me later. But that's the reality. That's the reality. They'll just keep going with these talking points, but they don't have any proof of none of this. The worst video I've seen of Charlie Kirk when it comes to a take, when he said Trayvon Martin hunted down George Zimmerman and killed him. That was Charlie Kirk's worst take ever. And he was debating with a Mexican dude. The Mexican dude cooked his ass. He cooked him. Charlie Kirk was like, I got to go do more research on it. But when Charlie Kirk said that about Trayvon Martin, he admitted he needed to do more research on it. And He wasn't saying that about all black people. He said that about one black person. Y'all made it about race. He made it about Trayvon Martin. Now, George Zimmerman was wrong as hell. And I believe what George Zimmerman did was racially motivated. But then I see black people running, flocking people damn houses. Then I say, damn, I kind of understand. Black folk, we make it hard for people to defend us. Because not only do we commit a bunch of violent, heinous crimes, we defend the people who do it. We defend the people who do it. But I want to go to the part where the lady starts going at this guy, Lucas. And I'm putting the link in the chat.
I find this exceptionally sad because, Lucas, you talk about how hurt you were and how offended you were by such despicable things, and then you became the thing that you found the most repulsive, which is alarming, and as I mentioned, deeply saddening. I would be more than happy to litigate some of Charlie's positions for you. I abjectly...
I don't think I need any litigation from a woman who tried to downplay slavery, who tried to all lives matter slavery after she purchased a black child. That's what I would argue. I don't think you need to as far as
would
litigating
you like to
anything.
discuss it?
Okay.
Because the reality of the situation is that what I gave you, whether you like it or not, is a fact from the 1860 census. And
It
the point is not
literally
to
is not a fact.
downplay
It
slavery.
is actually a bastardization of actual history.
You're
what you
wrong.
cited
And we can
was
discuss
in.
Notice how when he was talking, not a single person interrupted him. But now that she's talking, he has to jump in and hyper emotionally interrupt this chick and not let her get her point across. Reminds me of someone I know. But this is what's going on. You purchased a black child because she adopted a black kid. Lucas, there's thousands of black kids who have no home, who have no parents, nobody take care of them. How many? This guy's making money. How many is he gonna adopt? So that kid doesn't deserve to have a home because Lucas don't want them to go to a white person. This guy is a child, man. This guy is mentally a child. You're attacking her kid now and her. Now I'm going to attack your family after criticizing Charlie Kirk for attacking black folks. Lucas, you're attacking this lady's family. For what? For what? She's saying the truth. You became the very monsters that you claim to be fighting against. And you know what I'm going to do? Because I don't like what you said. I'm going to start attacking your damn family.
Accurate. You can actually look it up. I don't know if you did. I doubt you do your due diligence. You clearly did not. Because in that study that you're citing, in the study that I'm discussing it right now, in the study that you're citing, it takes into account not only the slaves, it takes into account the northern states and the southern states. So to try and implement or to say this all lives matter when it comes to slavery, which is abhorrent and in extreme contradiction to American history, especially in this country as chattel slavery as black Americans, is abhorrent and perverse, especially you, who is the mother of a black child who she purchased.
Right.
Other people
is my
adopt.
turn to talk?
You purchased.
Is it?
So she's the mother of a black child that she purchased. Well, Lucas, you have the opportunity and the means to purchase as many black children as you want, but you won't do it. But you'll criticize her for doing it. What would you prefer? For this kid to remain in the foster care system forever? Just because you don't want to see white women adopting black children? But have you noticed, have this guy ever talked about Charlize Theron or any of these other white folks who got these children, these little boys, and they turning them into little girls? Do you hear Lucas saying anything about that? No, because he's a damn leftist. That's why. Julian Michaels don't even mess with nobody. I think she used to be the weather girl back in the G. Why are you messing with this lady, Jillian? Show me. I promise you. Lucas don't got a single video on Charlize Theron, who then took this little boy and turned him into a little girl. I bet you Lucas ain't got a single damn video about this. That's a little boy. This a little boy right here. This is a little boy. And she been talking about this little boy transgender since he was a little 5-year-old. But I bet you won't see Lucas criticizing this. This is a boy. This is a boy.
May I say something on this?
Yes, you may.
Do you know because of this, she's not able to even get a date?
She can't, yeah. But she could get a movie role, though. This is a boy. But he's attacking Jillian Michaels like she's doing it. She ain't doing nothing near this. But she's the problem. I'm so tired of Negroes, bro. Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, thank you for having this show. Yeah, I saw this one of the Piers Morgan show, and I'm glad you did a story on this. My concern with Lucas is that I watch him on and off. If you notice, and like you said, you confronted him like, who are you? Who are you to speak on Black issues? Because in terms of spouse, he doesn't show his spouse, because there was a time where he was trying to push interracial relations.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that because he probably got a white girlfriend.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know who is his spouse. If you're so,
or a white boyfriend,
who knows? If you're really entrenched in the Black community, is your partner Black? If you're that invested into the Black community, and you don't necessarily have to adopt a Black child, but are you invested in the community at large? Are you donating your time or doing anything to support the community at large behind the scenes?
No, he's not doing anything. I'm in LA. The pro-Black circles in LA it's a very tight-knit situation. I could call everybody I know. Do you know this dude Amzaing Lucas? They're like, hell no, we don't know that fool. He's not.
Yeah. So I question, I mean, now that the FBA has launched, and I have another question about FBA. If FBA fair, this is your lineage, this is our identity, so on and so forth. And then what are we doing to continue this? What are we doing to sustain this? Are we having cultural events? I would like to see us more, because I live in a DC area. One of the big issues that people are having is our mating issues due to a lot of, various factors. What are we doing to continue ourselves and sustaining ourselves as a people? And Tariq Nasheed and his followers, all they're doing is going against African immigrants and this and that, but nobody's doing anything sustainable activities.
Nothing.
Like Amzaing Lucas is coming on here making memes on Charlie Kirk. Again, I'm not even a fan of Charlie Kirk, but this is going too much.
Listen, when you got Al Sharpton telling y'all this is wrong, because he says some ridiculous stuff about conservatives, but it's just wrong to do. And this is not the world I want to raise my kids in. Because okay, so what you gonna do if white folks say, F these niggas, let's get rid of them? What Black people gonna do? Nothing. Michelle, how I know Black people ain't gonna do nothing?
How do you know?
Because when white folks was hanging us by our necks and raping our women, you know what Black people did? Nothing. Don't go outside at night. Am I wrong?
That's true.
That's all we did. We cowered. We cowered. Oh, don't go out at night. Oh, the Klan is on the doorstep. I watched that old movie, Malcolm X. I know your aim is better than that. I just want to scare him. 3 days later, that nigga was dead. You remember that scene?
Yes.
You think that's fake? You think they making that up?
No.
Most of us don't got the stomach to kill a man who don't look like us. I learned that in No Jumper. These no good niggas that sit up there and try to go at me, Mexicans say, fuck niggers. And guess what they'll do? They'll shake his damn hand and act friendly with him.
Oh,
the hardest gangsters from LA.
And then also,
and then tell me this, Brandon, you a racist. No, nigga, you're just a coon. But I'm the coon. I'm the coon. I'm a coon. Listen, Michelle, I'm a coon and a racist. I don't like Mexicans because I'm from Long Beach, so to speak, allegedly. A Mexican said F-N words. It was never mentioned when he walked in and sat right next to you. It was never even brought up. But it'd be so crazy. They'll say something. You don't like black people. They'll let a damn dude who hang around racist Mexicans, a white dude who hangs around racist Hispanics, they'll let him speak on black issues and say, yeah, he understood us more than anybody. You damn dummy. No, he plays you. He placates you and makes you look, reveals you. He exposes you to be the idiot that you are. Because I'm down with the people who don't even like you. I'm down with them more than you. I'm a Southsider. But then I could get up here and call a black person coon and you don't care about your people. Well, if I don't care about my people, we got something in common because neither do you. At least I'm not sitting up here trying to pretend that I mess with a group of degenerates that I really don't.
But I notice your interactions with these guys on the show, and especially what I'm noticing now, as time is going on, especially on the West Coast, many black, I'm not generalizing, just from I notice black men that I see from the West Coast are they're not very strong within their black identity. I'm starting to see that as the generations go on and on.
Because niggas on this side have been trained. If you don't kiss the ass of whites and Hispanics, you're not going to get no opportunities. That's how Negroes over here think. You go to a job, it's a nigga in there giving the black people hell, but kissing the ass of the whites and the Hispanics. Now, I'm not going against Hispanics or whites, but I'm calling attention to a very real dynamic within black people, the black community in the West Coast. They will go after their own. These niggas will be ready to fight me at No Jumper. But a real racist walking that motherfucker, they peaceful with him. I'm not wrong. I've lived it. I've lived it. I say something, they run home and make a video about me. Let these dudes F my out. They won't say a word. I know.
But then another issue I have with the black community in LA is that it's no longer as strong as it was, as what maybe you grew up in, your father and so forth grew up in terms of strength in numbers and supporting each other.
You said what happened? Say that one more time.
Like the strength of black people in California has dissipated. Because I was watching again, I don't want to go too far off, but I guess we need to tie back into Amzaing Lucas, is because I'm not sure. Is he finding himself? Because I noticed at one point he was trying to be in the conservative spaces. I don't know. He got kicked out. Then he decided to latch on to the black separation movement, I will call it. And then now we're here at Piers Morgan show.
Man, I just feel like a lot of these people followed the Tariq Nasheed model. They just said, look, the black conservatives and stuff, it's hard to really get in these spaces and actually make a profit off of just like trauma bonding. So they go to the liberal spaces. It's easy. Listen, one of the people who did it is Afro Think Tank. When Afro Think Tank was in the middle, views were low. Soon as he said, look, fuck it, I'm going to release 5 videos a day spewing liberal talking points. Look how his channel blew up.
Oh, yeah, he lives in my area. Yeah.
His channel blew up. He just started speaking to the sentiments of the people around him. But at the same time, he won't admit, damn, it's violent as hell around here. When I go drive, I catch the train because I don't want to drive because I don't want to get carjacked. Am I wrong, Michelle? Don't you live in a DMV?
No. Yeah. Yes.
They snatching people out of cars. It's 13-year-olds carjacking people out there.
Yes, there are.
But it's just like, look, you get on the YouTube, after a while, the money ain't looking good. You just like, fuck it, man. F it, man. I'm about to just start grifting, man. I'm start telling black people what they want to hear.
And then
Go ahead.
Another point about Amzaing Lucas I wanted to interject was he did something against. I know Dr. Umar got his issues right now, but Dr. Umar, when the Charlie Kirk loss was announced, he made an Instagram post saying that he didn't agree with his rhetoric, but also shared a paraphrase, some type of condolences for him, and he made a video at him attacking Umar for saying something like that, and then this comes out. So I think if you can also pull that up and talk about his contradiction, because you attacked Dr. Umar for not wanting to celebrate his death, but also think Dr. Umar is an easy target for people to attack because of his issues.
Listen, it don't matter what issues Dr. Umar had, even Al Sharpton. Listen, man, when someone dies, the most I could say about Charlie Kirk is Charlie Kirk was a debater, right? He ain't hurt nobody. He didn't preach violence against nobody. If you don't agree with his points, he gave you a microphone to disagree with him. Many thousands of people disagree with him. He did not deserve to die for what he believed, just like I don't deserve to die for what I believe, and you don't deserve to die for what you believe. Nobody deserves that. Charlie Kirk ultimately wasn't hurting anybody. These kids wanted to talk to Charlie Kirk. That's why they gathered around him by the thousands, right?
And then another point, Angela Staton King also would push back on certain things that Charlie Kirk would say behind the scenes. So he always had somebody to help balance his views.
It's a dialogue. It's a dialogue. And I honestly believe Al Sharpton said I think that was the best thing Al Sharpton might have ever said in his life. He said, we don't kill. We debate that. If somebody don't agree, we debate that. I'm going to play it right now. As a matter of fact. Let me see. Oh, right here. Perfect.
I don't care how much you disagree with Charlie Kirk. He did not deserve to be
Yep, you're right about that.
and we should pray for his family.
You should. You should pray for his family. That's the right thing to do. I know.
Yeah, he had different views than me. He would attack me by name.
Mm-hmm.
But we debate that. We don't shoot at each
True.
other.
True.
Let me get one without this idiot talking.
I don't care how much you disagree with Charlie Kirk. He did not deserve to be killed. And we should pray for his family. Yeah, he had different views than me. He would attack me by name. But we debate that. We don't shoot at each other. And we don't glorify each other's demise. Only right gonna conquer wrong. Only love gonna conquer hate. And it's time for us to show the God in us is stronger than the demonic powers that have ripped this country apart. You weren't born holy. You weren't in here all the time. If God can forgive you, you preach forgiveness to others and try to make them better. I don't care how much you disagree.
I don't even know why a reverend has to tell you that. I don't even know why anyone has to tell you that. And these people claim to be Christians. The Bible says, do not celebrate the calamity of your enemy. Pray for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I might know a little bit about the scriptures, but I thought that was like par for the course, right? What happened to the Michelle Obama bullshit? When they go down, we go high. You niggas don't believe none of that. Let's be real, Michelle. You know why Negroes jumping on this so easy? Because that's how hateful niggas is to each other.
Well, this is a lot of views. It's a lot of views, a lot of attention.
But look, we are not doing nothing that we haven't been doing in our own community for decades. Minimizing tragedy, celebrating death, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, they got the niggas from over there. Yeah, cuz let's have a party. Blood, let's have a party. Like, this is what we do. This is natural for us. We don't even care that it's Charlie Kirk. We're just happy that there are some white folks who are now doing it too. We'll act like, this because white folks did. No, Negroes been doing this. We've been celebrating calamity falling upon other people that we don't like. I remember black folks used to call a child social service on each other to get each other kids taken away, knowing how traumatic that shit is.
Yes, I worked it. I can testify to that. People making false claims. I had one situation where the baby mama was upset. Yeah.
So we need to stop acting like we haven't been dealing with each other with savagery for decades.
False police reports.
All types of shit. A woman to sit up and lie on a man who was just fucking her and lie he tried to kill me and put a gun in my head just to see him go to jail. I've seen it with my own eyes. My mom did that. We've been dealing with each other in a savage way. Now we want to act like, we only doing it because the whites do it. Nigga, please. Negro, please. That's like a African tribe saying, well, we only started taking slaves because the white man started doing it. That's a damn lie. You was doing it before you ever met a white man. Let's be real. We love when they act savage because we feel like that justifies us acting savagely. We pray that they lose their morals because then we feel better about throwing ours away years prior. Let me play this.
Dr. Umar is a disgrace. Oh my goodness. So let me just say, I have been, and you guys know this, I've been an ardent supporter of Dr. Umar. When he had first announced his school, I was probably one of the first people to donate to the school. And since then, I've been a supporter of Dr. Umar. People have been telling me, Lucas, you're getting scammed, okay? He's a scammer. You know, he's a grifter. He's a hustler. You just got to let it go. And I told those people, y'all need to kick rocks. You don't know what you're talking about. We have got to get this man a chance. Year passed by, another year, and years have passed by. And I said, hey, we have got to offer some charity to this man. That's what we have to do. And you know what? It's a shame to see how many people were attacking Dr. Umar. And I said this time and time again, even recently, when he said the school was up. They try to take the school and everything. And he announces, have a date with the doctor and then try to revise it and say, this is going to be a reality show and everything. I still was like, listen, we all fall down. But as Kirk Franklin said, we get up. That's what I was saying, bro. That's what I was saying. Because I was like, listen, if he gets his school up, every black person should be at that school helping, whether it's cleaning, whether it's teaching the skills, whether it's offering, teaching the kids, whether it's offering your services, because that would be a massive impact for the empowerment of the group, of the collective. So I had faith. I had hope. All right. And as time went on, I was shown to have egg on my face. And I'm not going to lie, there's still an ounce of me that's hoping that, because he's got a 1-month extension. And I'm like, hey, maybe he pulls this together, maybe something, maybe a miracle, right? And I guess that's how they get you. They get you off of the hope, right? This is something that I've actually derided other people for. Like, all y'all got is hope. You have no plan.
So he didn't care about Umar Johnson stealing his money, right? But where he draws the line is Umar Johnson showing compassion for a white guy. This is some ignorant shit, man. This is some ignorant shit. While I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and consider him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African race. I'm ashamed to see members of my, I don't know what the rest says, but of my community. But yeah, Charlie Kirk ain't killed nobody black. Charlie Kirk said some things black folks didn't like. But what we know about black folks, Michelle, is that black folks trying to kill motherfuckers who say stuff they didn't like ain't got nothing to do with skin color. Because if you black, they'll be ready to string your ass up if you say something they don't like or get mad. Hell, if you wear the wrong colored t-shirt, they'll be ready to lay you low. Am I wrong?
No, sir.
Well, if you say I'm GDBD Vice Lord, they'll be ready to kill your ass. It don't take much for black folks. It don't take much. So please stop. Oh my God, we're just doing this. No. The only difference is black folks are now doing it to people who don't look like them, celebrating their death. And it's not cool.
Okay, for anyone who hasn't directly caused harm to black people. What? And I pause right there because I know tap dancing when I hear it. And this Negro is pitter-pattering, bruh. He was probably tap dancing as he wrote that. Because I just want to take a pause right here for a second. I want you to think about this. He is saying that unless you have physically, directly caused harm to a black person, that you're A-OK in his book. By that logic, Hitler is A-OK in his book. Because
see, do you ever know? See, this is how you know that Lucas is just a liberal. He's a radical liberal. He don't give a damn about black people. This guy is a Marxist because every time, oh, then Hitler's okay. Hitler ain't do shit to a black person. Black people have nothing to say about Hitler. Nothing. How did he go from Umar Johnson to Hitler? Because it all ties back into liberal talking points. That's what he is. He's a liberal voice, and he uses black people's issues to get people to trust him, and then he tries to put the Marxism on you. Michelle, how did this man go from Umar to Hitler?
That's two extremes. Two extremes for me.
Oh,
and that's why I was questioning him. Like, what is your grift? Where are we going with this?
Hitler killed people by the millions. How is that even close to Charlie Kirk?
No comparison.
And no comparison. That's like me comparing this idiot to freaking what's that nigga name in China? Chairman Mao Zedong. I mean, they're both communist Marxist pigs, but they're not comparable. One murdered 20 million of his people. And I made a post on Instagram. If you think Hitler was bad for the 6 million Jews that he killed, what do you think about the communists who killed Stalin? They say 50 million, and Mao who killed 20 million. No one has killed more people in history than Marxist, communist, socialist radicals. They're the number one murderers in history.
Speaking of which, there was a debate where Charlie Kirk debated the socialists. I believe he's a president at Oxford University. I think it's been about a year or so ago. I really wish you could analyze the debate because that socialist guy.
It was between him and who?
It was in Oxford. It was a black. He's a black guy with long dreads.
I think I saw that. He sounded like an absolute fucking idiot.
Yes, exactly. It was so horrible. He made us look so bad.
He was an old dude.
No, there was another one. He was a younger dude.
Like what? Like 40?
No, young guy. I think definitely under 30, under 25 even.
Guy sounds like yeah. Any socialist.
Let me see if I can find
like
it. I'm gonna put it in.
Any socialist Marxist is going to sound like an idiot once they get in front of somebody with common sense. Listen, I don't even got to explain socialism, but what you know is they want to spend everything got to be free, but who gonna pay for it? That's socialism and communism summed up in a nutshell. You know who's gonna pay for it? Nobody. You know what they're gonna do to the poor people? This is what communism is. We get all these poor people to support us by saying we're gonna give them free shit. Once they realize, wait, ain't shit free. The rich elites are still dominating. We just kill all the poor people. That's what Stalin did. That's what Mao did. They just killed all the poor people. They never delivered what they promised these idiots. They just kill you. They put you on government-owned farms, force you to work, and starve you till you die. And say you're doing it for the communist nation, for the socialist revolution. This is where it happens. This is the way it happens every time. And then this is what happened. all the people who never lived under the socialism and the communism say, well, it didn't work because the United States, they interfere with it. United States didn't interfere with no Mao Zedong. The United States didn't interfere with no Joseph Stalin. Those dudes realized we can't deliver all this shit we promised these people. So they turn you into a slave. They turn you into a slave. Because y'all will say capitalism needs slaves. So does communism. Somebody got to work for free. If everybody's supposed to be getting shit for free, somebody got to be willing to produce it for free. And then you become a slave. While the rich people buy their way into the government, or, they line the pockets of the politicians so that they can keep their wealth. This is what happens. This is what happens.
I put the link in the private chat of the guy. He's actually facing some charges. I put the link in.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Okay, I'll play it.
From my understanding, and you can fact check me, Hitler did not directly kill, not a black person, didn't directly kill a Jewish person, didn't directly kill anyone aside himself. That's history. Look it up. So according to him, Hitler is A-OK in his book.
I beg your pardon?
That is foolishness. And I find it fascinating how in some cases, right, when the slave master, right, is on his way out, you have these mofos where, and it's funny because Dr. Umar is the one that talked about the chip that gets activated. And it seems his chip has been activated. And I find it fascinating how these fools just are a little, I don't know, there's something that is preventing them from accepting their freedom. They're scared about freedom. They want to stay in the house, okay? Even though the house is burning down in front of you, the slave master is gone on the ground, right in front of you. There's just some warmth you have, some association that you have about the house.
Lucas is probably making about $40,000 to $40,000 a month off YouTube. You really think Lucas wants the house to burn down? Let's be realistic.
No, he doesn't. He's making good money.
You got to be a fool to think that somebody who is living like a fat rat off of the system wants the system to burn down. You sound dumb as hell. I'm not even rich, and I don't want the system to burn down. I'm doing pretty good under the system. That's like somebody eating fucking steak every night. They're like, man, I sure wish I had some top ramen. No. This goes against human nature. Even a dog ain't going to leave a yard where he's getting fed every night. Even if the master come out and kick his ass every day. That's exactly, that's who Lucas thinks he is. He thinks he's Malcolm X. That's who Lucas thinks he is. I'll give you, man, listen. Hold on. I'll show you exactly what type of person the Amazing Lucas is. Because I saw a person like that today. Y'all got to understand, there's a high level of coonery that is has permeated the Black community. It is real bad in California. It's real. There's a special type of coon has evolved in California. I'm not even joking. Somebody got a quote. He died not with a gun or a knife or a grenade in his hand, but a microphone. That's a quote about Charlie Kirk. He died with a fucking microphone in his hand. And they're trying to pay, and they're literally comparing this guy to Hitler. Let that sink in. The guy died with a microphone in his hand. And they're trying to compare this guy to Hitler. But go watch.
See, that's why people get upset with liberals, because liberals they're so extra, and it's annoying. Like when they talk, it's so extra.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Mm-hmm. It's unnecessary, but they do it anyway. You know why? Because they have to. This projection. They have to claim you are what they really are. I hate people like that. I got a cousin like that. Excuse me. I got an aunt like that. She makes up lies and she actually believes them. Like, how you believe your own damn lie? That's crazy to me. But there are people out here called liberals. There are people out here called liberals who believe their own fucking lies. Damn, I'm looking for this video, man. Damn, I thought I posted this. I don't want to put it on Instagram. Let me see. Damn. I don't know where the hell. I don't know what I did with this video. But basically, it was this black dude, right? It was this black dude. And nigga walking around Long Beach. I'm sitting at the coffee shop, right? This nigga, got a big ass tattoo of Malcolm X on his leg, right? Walk up in the coffee shop with a white girl. Took me out, dude. Took me out. I said, bruh, this level of coonery is unmatched. This level of coonery is unmatched, bro. Let me see. All right, let me see if I can share this. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna make this a little bigger so y'all can see. I think this would be good. This level of coonery is unmatched. I swear to God, this man got a tattoo of Huey P. Newton and Malcolm X on his leg, but up in here with a white girl. Look at this. Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton on his leg, but it's up in here with that white girl right there. But up in the joint with a white chick. Look, you can see her on the left hand side. She leaning up against his chest. I had to go away. I had to move my camera away. But this guy had a big ass tattoo of Huey P. Newton and Malcolm X on his leg. Michelle, it don't get no more random than that.
I think this is the new norm.
I said, this nigga, I damn near was ready to cut that nigga leg off. Not even saying that I have an issue with interracial marriage or whatever. But what I'm saying is like, bro, this not you. You are not them. Well, maybe the Huey P. Newton one was accurate. But the Malcolm one, hell no. I'll give you Huey. But I ain't, Huey loved white women. But I ain't giving you Malcolm, bro. Hell no.
But Huey, he died broken on drugs. Am I correct?
He got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he was up, he liked him a snow bunny.
I wanted to bring up.
I would suggest you never let seahorses or any other mess up relationships with others who show real support versus a mofo who only come along to cause issues. What? I don't know what this dude's talking about. Guys, if you got a problem with what I'm saying, I'm putting the paste. I'm copy and pasting there. Go ahead, Michelle.
Did you see the link I sent you about the socialist guy who debated Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, it was not a video though.
Oh, it was the article. I'm trying to. Okay.
It was an article, but yeah, I actually saw that. I was looking it up on YouTube. Let me see. Yeah, see, he kicked so many socialist people's ass. Black. Social. Man, anytime I see a nigga with dreadlocks talking about socialism, bro, nigga, you're just lazy. Smoking weed and shit. These niggas think if socialism come in, they gonna get free weed. That's it. Like, dang, why can't I find that video? Because it was a pretty big deal for a while. But that guy got destroyed so bad.
Yeah.
Where were they at? What school were they at?
Oxford University in UK.
Yeah. There's a lot of those bums out there.
Yeah, he's a dreadlock Rasta.
There's a lot of those bums out there, man. But look, they're literally turning the UK into what they think would be a utopia, and look at how that's working. Now they complaining about the cost of everything being too high. Well, shit, you raising taxes to make people pay your way. So you know what those people do? Those people then raise the prices on things.
And I think also Brandon, as the show grows, if I may add, you advertise, hey, if you want a topic covered, $10, $20, Cash App. Even like for your members, if we can just have a private meeting, we can talk about how we can help grow the channel together. Because I think the issue in UK needs to be explored, because in the UK in the past year, they've lost a certain amount of millionaires because of them raising taxes and because of their welfare state. That's a whole nother discussion within itself.
These niggas, they want free stuff.
Who doesn't want free stuff?
But they don't realize someone has to pay for everything. And so you got to be dumb as hell to vote to give a bunch of losers and bums free shit and then complain about the cost of everything. Like, these rich people, the owners of the means of production, they are not about to take a loss so you can feel good. Just like you're not going to take a loss so they can feel good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you should put me in front of the welfare of your family. No one's gonna do that. But it's stupid. We got people up here. All right, guys. Let's go around. Let's go, Lioness Den.
Brando.
What up?
What up? This First Sergeant Dobie. And hello to the people. And just for you to know, I am for your eyes only in the chat. And I was not anticipating you reading that out loud, but yet and still, it's your girl, First Sergeant Dobie, here live directing. And Chicago. I'm here in the political arena.
Chicago. West side Chicago.
South side.
All right.
I'm here in Chicago, really on the south side, and I work elections here. So I'm an election coordinator, right? And
who'd you vote for in the last election? Brandon Johnson?
Okay, well, I was a coordinator. I'm gonna speak.
You knew this was coming.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem. So I was an election coordinator in that election as well. Now, in the primary election, because if you guys do not remember or recall, that resulted in a runoff election, right? So in the primary election, I did not vote for Brandon Johnson, Mr. Brando. I did not. No, I did not.
I did.
Oh, well, no, I didn't vote. I didn't vote for him. And even though I'm a coordinator, I didn't vote for Biden. I voted.
In my life. My God.
Yeah, I didn't vote for him in the primary. Who I actually voted for was my constituent, Jamal Green. Jamal Green, who had run prior.
That's who I should have voted for. I feel bad.
I voted for Jamal Green.
Why do I feel like 10 Speed? Why do I feel like you were on one of the videos at the city council meeting talking?
No, that wasn't me, Brandon. It wasn't me, Brandon.
I
like the group called Chicago Flip Red, even though I'm from the West Side. But I want to hear his sister talk, because his sister, let me say this right here. I'm from the West Side of Chicago, born and raised in the Austin community. But I did the worst thing on the planet. I actually voted for Brandon Johnson. I'm going to tell you why I voted for him. I did not want to see that white dude get in. Now, that's what I went wrong at. But, when his sister sit there and said she voted for that young, I'm like, he's too damn young. And we need Willie Wilson. We need Willie Wilson. That's why I messed up at it. I said we need Willie Wilson. I messed up right there, because guess what? He was the worst candidate. But that Jamal Green dude,
I don't know what happened to this brother. He just blanked out. He was about to drop some
Something.
jewels. Linus,
My
okay,
fault.
here you go.
I stopped paying attention to him. I said, this young brother, if he ever get hold of being the mayor of Chicago, he want to make my. So you know what I did? What I did is I went on his webpage and said, hey man, I want to apologize to you and say I'm sorry. I said I said some things about you based upon what I thought I seen. But you know what? I was completely wrong about you. And the brother answered and said, hey man, you cool. I said I feel bad because I'm gonna tell you something. Black Chicago, Brandon, if you hadn't paid attention, especially in the West Side in the Austin area, I'm in the house I was born in 57 years ago. So I'm one of the very few families, the only family on the block that actually maintained my house before the illegals were given money by the Democrat Party to take over. So I'm one of the very few. My man, I've been here since 1968. I'm 57 years old. We are the only ones on the block that maintain our grandmother's legacy. Just me and my brother. Brandon, I want you to get a chance to do a show on how Black Chicago is losing their property to illegals,
I know.
and has gone from the west side to south side.
I,
Please, if you can, have the south side and west side to call in and have us to just express some things, Brandon. Because
I'm
I
coming to
really
Chicago. I'm gonna be in
when
Chicago in 2 weeks.
You coming to
I'll be
Chicago in
there,
two
brother.
weeks?
Yeah,
I
I'll be in.
Yeah, yeah.
I find some things to disagree with you on, but for the most part, Brandon, man, I think you got the hottest show. As long as you focus, you got the hottest show. But sister from the south side, let me listen to you right now.
Yeah, let Linus then go. Then we gotta go around.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Thank you.
hey guys.
Linus then finish up. Go
Oh
ahead
wait.
and make your point.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much. So, sir, yes, we Jamal Green, my constituent, he was the youngest to run for uh Chicago mayor before this last go round. It was that first time around before this last go round, right? When Mayor Brandon just made office, when Lori Lightfoot was running. That time go round, Jamal had ran then as well. He was the youngest to run for Chicago mayor. And at that time, I was like, oh, you real still wet behind the ears. So I was
Right.
like, you run again, I got you, right? So this time go round, I did vote for Jamal. However, he didn't make it through that primary. So then it came up against, Paul Vallis and Brandon Johnson. Now, I know you said that you're on the west side, and I be on the west side a lot of times because over there, right, not too far of the west side, we know is Maywood, and that's where the Hampton House is. And I be at the Hampton
Right.
House because my
Hey,
A1 day
wait,
one.
Linus then.
Yeah.
I told you don't vote for Brandon Johnson. I told you to vote for Vallis because the crime and Vallis was working with the PD to try to bring more officers to the streets. You didn't listen to me, but keep going.
But yeah,
See,
Brandon,
Brandon,
there's more than
Chicago is segregated. It's more to
it's
that. You
more
got to
than
live in
it's more to
Chicago
that
to
Chicago,
know
right?
what's going on.
Brandon, you got to understand what he wanted to do as far as militarizing the schools, like having militarized schools, things of that nature. Why he left Chicago and went to other states, and what he was trying to
Right.
implement in other states. Like he
Bro,
was trying to.
y'all got multiple.
There was other things. There's
Y'all
other.
got 50 people getting shot in a weekend, man. You need to militarize the school to protect your kids.
Hey, Brandon,
that wasn't what.
that's just the shooting. That's just the shooting. Think about domestics and everything else.
What about the
It's
stabbings? What
more.
about all that? What I'm telling you is it's like you can try to paint violence because I did some research on that dude. He wasn't gonna turn it into a third world. He wasn't gonna turn it into a militarized zone. Y'all just saw a black face and was like,
No, what we saw was Paul
Brandon.
Vallis. Paul Vallis had that kind of chin that he just a racist MF. So what we saw, what we saw with Paul Vallis, what we looked in his eyes and we said, you know what? We said, now Brandon Johnson did fake us out, but Paul Vallis had that lock Negroes up. In other words, he would have let loose on innocent people like myself and this sister right here. We would have been an issue that we should not have been into.
I don't like the fact that you
I
guys
agree.
I don't like the fact that you guys are comparing yourselves to brazen criminals. Like black people say this.
No. We not. Brandon,
that's
you
not
don't understand Chicago. Remember,
Yeah.
Chicago is the most segregated city in the whole country, and I like it that way. but it's no longer that way now. But what I'm trying to say, Brandon, is that when you got a segregated city, then you can have black power, this power, that power. You don't mix it up. What I'm saying, Paul Vallis came with that guy who was head of this. I guess the guy who was head of the police fraternity. They both had that issue. Like, we gonna get you, nigga. We're going back to the old Irish days of Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley, and we're gonna just hook it all up. So, and you have to be in Chicago. Chicago different meaning city. We are segregated. I like it that way. But we no longer being that way now because the Latinos are moving all in
I've
the
been
areas.
to Chicago many times. I didn't feel
But
segregated.
have you? But no. You've been in Chicago. Remember, we the most segregated city in the country.
Bro,
We
I
used
went
to be.
all the places. Rico, Benny, all them white.
Where you been? Wait.
But you know what?
Where have you been? Where have you been?
Brandon, it is very segregated here,
Listen,
and
man,
although it's
the only thing segregated is niggas that are violent from normal people.
No. You can go.
When I
You can
was
go to
standing in the
decent
loop,
black. You can go to decent black neighborhoods, especially on the South Side. You can be decent black neighborhoods. Wait a minute. Where the people are decent and respectful, like Hyde Park, Kenwood. You can go to places like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the Austin
Winter
area.
areas.
Right. I'm in the Austin area. The Austin area used to be the biggest community in the whole country at one time. Years ago. What I'm trying to say is that you have not seen Chicago. You only saw the Chicago that the whole world said, let's go for a vacation. When you come to, I live off Madison, which is the Wild Madison.
rough areas because that's where my
Have you
family
been? Have you been on Madison or 79th Street?
I've been on Auburn,
91st Street, 90th Street.
Okay, I'm born and raised. I live on Madison and Cicero. I'm in the heart and the soul of the Vice Lord Nation.
You in
And
that area where all the
I've never been a gangbang in my life.
You're in that area where all the houses and shit look abandoned.
No, I'm in the Austin area, which is the far west side. What I'm trying to say, that's just on the south side.
Johnson's from.
Is that west?
Right? No. He's not from here. He moved here.
Is that the west suburbs?
No, the west side of Chicago.
No, west suburbs is like Maywood,
Bellwood,
exactly,
stuff like that.
Man,
that's where my cousin moved to after he got shot in the chest by another black guy.
Man, I'm praying for Chicago. But
see, Brandon, you got to come. Brandon, you say you come to Chicago, and you say you come to Chicago 2 weeks from now. What I want you to do, Brandon, I want you to actually take you a ride down Madison, down 87th, down 79th Street, down Roosevelt, and you will see the heart of the west side and the south side.
No, what we're gonna do is Brando, you come. This is what we're gonna do. See, Brandon, this is the best way to show you. You're gonna come to Chicago, and this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put you on what we call the heart.
Wait, guys, hold on. TSM, you have a radio. TSM, listen to what I'm telling you.
Chicago is a mess. Like
TSM, hold on.
Damn.
Do you understand the word? Hold on.
Like that. I just believe like Chicago are deeper than that. I think something is wrong.
Yeah, Brandon, can I get a word in?
Wait a minute, guys. Everyone has to wait. TSM, you have a microphone or a radio. You doing some type of job with a radio? I hear it in the background, so mute up. We're gonna let Linus Den finish. Then we're gonna go to We Winning. Then we're gonna go to TSM. Go ahead, Linus Den, finish up. She's muted. Linus Den, you're muted.
Right. Okay. I'm having a little technical issue. Okay. Thank you so much, Brando. Okay. And everybody makes you thumbs up. What I was saying is a great example would be to like have you come here to Chicago, and then I was born on 95th Street at Little Company and Mary Hospital, but that's neither here nor there. But still, we can start at 95th Street. It's going to be on the red line, the CTA. Okay. I'll pay for your fare.
Right.
I'll pay for your fare.
Right.
I'll pay for your fare. Because the best way to show you how this go down is I'm going to pay for your fare. We're going to get on the red line. We're going to get on 95th. And then we just going to ride the red line. Right. And then
go to the green line.
Then as we ride the red line, it's going to be all black people. Right. Yep. And it's going to be all black people until we get we're going to get downtown. And that's where the blacks are going to start getting off. And then what? The whites are going to start getting on. Right. Exactly. And then the train is going to begin to leave downtown and head up north.
Wait.
Go ahead,
Hold
bro.
on. This is my only question. y'all want the whites to be like, let's move into the mix with all these violent niggas.
Oh,
Like,
no. But
y'all
hold on.
talk about
They
segregation.
moving. It don't matter. They here. They
But
here.
also then but they also we get on the green line and the other line, like the yellow line, the pink line. You know, the pink line, you know where that's gonna take you, right? You already know where the pink line gonna take you. I just said pink. It's gonna take you to Rainbowville and stuff. You know, and the yellow line with the immigrants. This is what I'm talking about. It's totality, Brandon. It's not just blacks, whites. And I don't vote on the basis of color. I vote on the basis of merit and substance.
Most whites, Brandon, check it out. Listen, there used to be an area in Chicago where the Irish was in community. It was called the Bridgeport community, right? Where Mary Daly is from. There was another a community of whites that's kind of far back. It's called the Italian. It's like Italian community, and they were sort of put you in an area that's called Chatham area, like there. Now the blacks for so long in the 80s and the 90s have held the South Side and the West Side down. Now you have Puerto Rican neighborhood in the Midwest. You have the Mexican neighborhood in the Southwest. But what happened is that when they start bringing the white folks, yuppies in, they push those Mexicans out of Little Village. They push those Puerto Ricans out of what's called Humboldt Park, which is a park that was very known for revolutionary thing back in the 60s and everything like that, right?
I know that
So
area.
Chicago has changed. My thing with me is that I want to change. I want to save my West Side from the Mexicans and everybody else. I'm sorry. I'm just prejudiced. I'm
And now,
sorry. I hate I'm that way. I don't want to be that way, but I am.
Can I
But
get a
the
word in?
sister, when the sister tell you to get on her with the red line, and you're going to see Chicago from a real perspective, the red line and whatever line she get on, because you just actually just walking around and you just going around like down here. But when you want to see Chicago, let the sister guide you to the red. In other words, you on the red line. You go. It's like you're on the street. They gonna say everything on the red line.
All right, I put my
Read, dope, and everything else.
and I canvass all these areas because I work elections, so I have hundreds of thousands of names. Yes.
Line is I put my phone number in the back chat. Take
you
it
did?
down when I go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Hit me up, and we'll do that. We win.
I hope to see you, brother.
You can. We just have to plan it.
So,
we winning. Go ahead.
So I've been to Chicago plenty of times. Chicago's a beautiful spot. It's a beautiful place. You know, I love from the west side to the south side. My thing is, what is it going to take for black people to get off the bullshit when it comes to protecting the whole DNC aspect? Because when I talk to certain black people, I said, what's going on with the immigration problem? Yeah, it's bad over here. I said, okay, so what's the next play? Then I looked at the stats from 2020 to 2024. I saw that y'all made improvements where 400,000 people that voted for Biden didn't vote for neither candidate. I'm like, okay, that's a step up. But when I talk to certain people that's not Boulay, you know, the Boulets, they fuck with Brandon Johnson. Yeah. Where they're too busy in Oak Brook, they're too busy in South Barrington. I see that they're in the outskirts where they're so insulated from the problem. They say, man, I'm getting these nonprofit checks. I'm getting these non-government organization checks. They don't really give a fuck. But when I talk to people that's in Auburn Gresham, people that's in North Pulaski, people that's in these areas, they say, nah, man, deportation is a go. I said, well, for sure then. I'm like,
I was on a panel with 5 black men from Chicago who were violently opposed to the idea of deporting Hispanics. There was a Hispanic who actually had a gun, and I think he shot somebody or something like that. And those dudes were like, yeah, he should be able to have a gun because it's a violent city and he needs a gun for his protection. And we support him being able to have a gun as an illegal immigrant.
Man, that nigga fathead. That nigga fathead. I talk to taxpayers, people that's like Brother 10 Speed's demographic, and they ain't fucking with it. They pay too much taxes. The tax is going to get raised up, and they got to go to Harvey. They got to go to Indiana. They got to go all over the place. And plus, that Obama Museum is coming in, and that development going to run through the west and the south side. Anything that's near downtown going to get built up.
Facts. Hey, let me get TSM. Go ahead, TSM, and then we go into Manny.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, we can hear you decently.
Yeah, honestly, like, you know, joke, but Chicago is being a mess since Michael Jordan stopped playing basketball, bro. Okay. Chicago, bro, has always been a mess, man. Come on. Since Al Capone, since the 80s, the 90s, it's always been a mess. I don't think so. The problem is the immigrant. Like, people in Chicago need to stop just begging and needs to watch themselves on the mirror and say, hey, we have a problem. We have to do better for our own community. Honestly, Hispanic, they pull up at Chicago, they will make their own agenda, their own stuff. They're not gonna go and blend like they do in LA. It's not true. They can do that in LA because LA is close to Mexico. But I can bet the Mexican they're going to Chicago is just for work. It's just to do better for the community. But I'm telling you, even like if we get rid of Hispanic in Chicago, Chicago is gonna be a mess and it's gonna still be a mess because people themselves in Chicago, they can save themselves. Look, the Nation of Islam is over there. They can fix up the city.
I don't know.
Man, this nigga
We're here
is
talking about
delusional.
Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover. People want Larry Hoover come back on the
This
city,
nigga is
bro.
so delusional.
Let him
I'm
finish.
not delusional. No, I'm not delusional. What I'm
Yeah,
saying
Your
we
is
shit
got
don't be
Larry
like that.
Hoover.
What?
Larry Hoover's free.
Guys, let him finish talking.
what I'm saying is like people in Chicago have to take the responsibility to do better for themselves. Honestly, it's out of control, bro. I believe like Trump is right when he say send the national guard because like at the end of the day, it's people in Chicago can lose the self-control. They can't handle themselves, and they're blaming immigrants and they're blaming like Latinos, but the problem is themselves. How can a Mexican can come to the neighborhood and just buy you house like that? Something is
Brother,
wrong.
respectfully, TSM, can I ask you a quick
Come
question,
on,
man?
bro.
Have you
Go
been
ahead.
to LA? Have you
He
been to
lives in
Los
LA.
Angeles?
He lives in
I'm
LA.
in LA
Now,
right now. What you talking about?
I just asked the question. Don't yell me down. Only why I asked that situation is there is no such thing as black and brown. I love Chicago people because they push back and they realize they know black and brown. Ain't no black and brown, buddy.
I mean,
It's the black to help the brown. That's the only thing that is.
but I get what TSM is saying because it's like you can't just be on time with the black shit when the Hispanic threat, so to speak, is coming at you. Black people have had many decades, shit, damn near century, to get it together in Chicago, and they still haven't managed to do that. So it's like you gotta there. I'm saying it's facts because even if you get rid of the illegals, because we do love our Hispanic people who are legal immigrants,
Of course,
right?
of course.
But even if you get rid of the illegal immigrants, I feel like black people in Chicago will just slip back into complacency. They won't just be like, okay, let's build from this moment. There is so much black power and black excellence in Chicago. It makes no sense, just like this brother said, that an illegal immigrant could come in and just buy your ass out and take over your neighborhood in like a couple months. It was a couple months.
Come on.
It usually will take like years. Like when the Asians took over the those cities in Orange County, Garden Grove and stuff, it took them decades to take over them cities. Go ahead, 10 Speed, and then we're gonna go around one last time, and we gotta stop.
Man, let Brother 10 Speed sing.
Go ahead, 10
Even
Speed.
sometimes more than decade, maybe 20 years.
10 Speed, you're muted.
You are muted, sir.
And when you unmute, you have 1 minute to drop your final thought. Go ahead, 10 Speed. Unmute yourself. Hold on. Let me see if I can help you. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, my brother. My grandmother bought this building in 1967. Most of my family had moved on, just me and my brother in a 2-flat building. I got my mother's apartment and my grandmother's apartment. What I'm trying to say is that I've been in this place for so long. I look across the street at all my childhood friends and teenager friends in my 20s and my 30s. They're all gone. You know who's on my block right now? Illegal immigrants. They got Venezuelan people living downstairs in one of my best friend's building. What I'm trying to say is that if you're not from Chicago, you don't really know what you're talking about. You're going off what you're hearing on the news. Chicago is a different, unique kind of place because we like to keep it segregated. We do. We actually do. But what I'm saying is that we have to understand is that we are the most corrupt city when it comes to politics. We call Cook County, which is really Crook County. So the thing about it is that, and the sister from the South Side, she can actually tell you that most of our black peoples who are in charge have been there for a long, long time. Our people do not vote. I've been in Austin community for a long time, and I can tell you that when it comes time to vote, our people don't vote. Now, here's the thing what people don't understand. During the 90s, when we had the heroin epidemic in Chicago, my community had the most heroin epidemic in the whole country. In the whole country, my community did. So most of those parents went and took a second mortgage out on their houses, and they wound up losing those houses, and the kids did not know they took a second mortgage out. So we had lost so many in Chicago. I hear the sister from Chicago Red. She said Black people are getting their house taken from them in Chicago. That is true. They're giving to the Latinos. One young man told me the other day they're giving Latinos $66,000 as a help to move into a black neighborhood because they want to take over the Puerto Rican neighborhood in Humboldt Park, take over Little Village and Mexican neighborhood. Like, so they all coming to my area. Now, by me being a segregationist, I am. I want to see blood back in my place. I have a problem with that because black folks are not giving anything. Not only that, but they had actually had raised our taxes here. So mind you too, when you see Chicago, you're gonna see a bunch of black families that have lost their houses through mortgage scams. Most of the families bought their house in the 60s and the early 70s. So Chicago is a little bit different than other places because the segregation is what gives us the black power for the communities. But now the segregation is gone, we're losing, and so now the Democratic Party has completely, utterly destroyed the black community in Chicago. The
Well, you got
Democrats had destroyed us.
well, you guys voted for a black guy who was
We did.
leading
I
Yes,
was
agree.
leading the charge to get rid of you guys. So
yep.
it's kind of like we got to start doing our due diligence, and we got. I think voting just based on who black, it hurt black people in the long run. We got to evolve. Thank you, brother.
But we got to
Go ahead, Linus.
deprogram
You
from
got 1
this
minute.
Thank you, brother.
journey.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just speak.
Thank you, sir, too.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Linus. You got a minute.
just to peek. Can you hear me?
Yeah, USC is playing, so y'all better hurry
Okay.
up.
Okay, Brandon, you okay? Brando. Okay, thank you. Okay.
And
Listen,
USC just gonna lose.
we first of all, me myself, I have no issue against any color, creed, ethnicity, anything of that sort. Okay, right? And I do agree with the gentleman who was just up here. It's been our politicians. We call it Crook County politics here. It's been our politicians who have, and to me, with my people, I don't know why they want to continuously vote in the same party and the same members of the same party that is driving this city straight into hell. Because, sir, I've been here doing the actual work. This is what I do here. I do the work, and I've been doing the work so long here in my city, which is petitioning. I've been a poll worker, poll judge. I'm a coordinator. Right. And I still seeing the city go backwards in so many different ways. And it's saddening. Just 60 seconds from where I stay, a woman was killed, about a couple of weeks ago. They just had her funeral. 60 seconds outside my door. Michelle Blunt, real talk. So my issue is really that we take from the people. It's just the allocation of resources. We have to keep in mind that it was first black mayor Harold Washington that even made this become a sovereign city. It was
Sanctuary.
a sanctuary. Right. Excuse me. You're right. I'm about sovereignty though with the land, but right. Sanctuary. Thank you for the correction. Yes. That made this first a sanctuary city that was ushered in under that of Harold Washington. And then when you implement the visa program, that's how we get to where we're at today. Now today, with all the gentrification going on, we must keep in mind that now today, it is the illegal immigrants. It is those who are first generation DACA that are now.
you're not. It's not true. No. It's
Let me
not.
finish. Can I
Man, let her
finish?
finish, bro.
Stop it.
Damn.
Oh.
Can I?
Put
Sir,
your cape down.
Let
brother.
her finish.
Damn.
You got 30 seconds to land. You
They
got 30
are the
seconds to
number
land.
one business owners here now. They are the number one homeowners here, first generation DACA. So
But that's
yeah,
not their fault, though.
I'm not saying,
Like
Brandon, I'm not
black
saying.
people have this tendency to be like, we ain't doing shit. So y'all, if y'all do something, y'all hurting us, but we not gonna do nothing. Like black people have to get in the
It's not that.
goddamn
What I
race.
just said, it is the allocation of tools. I said it is the allocation of funding. It is the allocation. It is the stripping of the tools, the resources.
But
So
y'all voting for the people who decide where the shit go. Y'all voted for Brandon Johnson. He fucked y'all over. He played y'all. I listened to Brandon Johnson talk. I'm not even from Chicago. Based on what he said, he did everything he said he was going to do. Stop acting like, oh, they tricked
I
us.
agree with you,
He told
Brandon.
you what he was going to do.
I agree
Then when
with
he
you
did
as
it, y'all
far
start
as.
complaining. He
Wait,
said he was going to
I
make
agree with you as
don't
far
bang
as.
on her like.
Hold
Don't
on. First
bang
of
on
all,
Linus.
I voted for Brandon Johnson because on
Because
voters.
he black. Just admit it.
No. Could you let me finish, sir? I said I voted for Brandon Johnson because of the night of Voters Eve. You may not know he went on Freedom All Radio with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Right now, Paul. Hold on. So he came. Let me tell you, like Trump, he was willing to address. I'm telling you, he came and he was willing to address the people. Now, Paul Vallis was extended that same invite to come upon Freedom All Radio on on election eve we had here. I coordinated that election and he did not. So I felt like he wasn't willing to address even the people in such a way. But I get what you're saying.
Johnson understand that niggas live for symbolism.
I get what you're saying.
You voted for symbolism. Somebody like me is looking at that. I'm looking at this nigga saying he got all bad ideas that's going to hurt me. So he's trying to do some symbolism to win me over. That's what they do.
And rock you to sleep.
I really wasn't voting for symbolism either, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Just because I voted for him, you can say that.
Brandon, don't bang on Lioness. It looked like
they do symbolism to get you to let your guard down and get you to accept things that are obviously bad for you. Black folks been doing the same thing for decades, man. Next election, I'm gonna give y'all one more chance in Chicago. But this next election, y'all better stop
vote for
playing
Willie
around.
Wilson. Damn it, Willie Wilson was the only
winning.
one with business experience.
We
Willie
winning.
Wilson
You got
was
1
the
minute.
only. Willie Wilson was the only one with some business.
But lastly, hold on, Brandon, I'm gonna get up out of here. Listen, Brando. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm gonna hit you. So when you come to Chicago, we can parlay back. Okay. All right, Pete.
I can tell you that. People in
You got the
Chicago,
floor.
they destroy themselves.
TSM, you coming up next. TSM.
Man,
go ahead. We winning. You got 1 minute.
I just want to say the stocks was up that I told you about. Since we linked up, the stocks has been
the
up.
Magnificent Seven.
Yes, sir. So I was right about that. And to finish off my point is Black people from Chicago need, I don't know if they need more open borders for them to understand the memo or what, because it seemed like a lot of Black people, boy, they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. They got DNC donkey tattooed on their face. I just don't get it, bro. I've stopped voting for these people for the past 15 years. But go ahead, I'm done.
Yeah, you got people like Mo M in the comments lying. Chicago crime rate has dropped under Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson streamlined, blah, blah. You just got these loyalist Negroes, man. Brandon Johnson don't give a shit about nobody Black in Chicago. And his Black people still trying to defend him. Like, just let it go, man. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I'm going to be in touch with you. I got your number. I'm going to call you.
Perfect.
All right, peace. TSM, you got the floor, my brother. Take
What's
a minute.
up, Joe? Thank you.
Chilling.
Yeah, no. You see, the ladies, like, she's still doing the same thing. People in Chicago, they didn't understand yet. They destroyed themselves. They destroyed themselves with the help of anybody. And now they're begging Trump to come down with the National Guard, stuff like that. Come on, bro. How, like, illegal immigrant, they can barely speak English, come to Chicago, taking over like that overnight? It's ridiculous. It's impossible. But it's possible in Chicago. Why? Because people have a gang culture. People in Chicago have a gang culture. They're begging Larry Hoover. They're begging, come on, bro. What's that?
Yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah, crazy shit. And now they're behind on the agenda and they complain about immigrant because it's easy target. Immigrant is easy target at this point.
I would say that the people in Chicago have put more effort into getting Larry Hoover, a criminal, out of jail than they put into developing their neighborhoods. Because when 10 years ago, you talk to somebody from Chicago, they wasn't like, we need to build up these neighborhoods. They was like, free Larry Hoover. Like, what the hell was Larry Hoover going to do?
Oh, come on. They're
in love with their own history, which is fine, but you got to make progress too. And that's what essentially a lot of the United States try to do. They trying to bring in people who don't There's this saying, and I always say it, and it's off of the Avengers movie. Thanos said this: as long as there are those who can remember what has been, there will always be those who, you know that quote Thanos said in Avengers? I know you watch Avengers. As long as, I'm going to read it right now. As long as there are those who can remember what was. Okay, let me see. Okay, right here. So in the Avengers, there was Thanos was sitting on the thing, and he when he first got the gauntlet, he wished to get rid of half the universe, right? But then he realized that was a mistake. because there were people who were able to remember what it was like before half the universe was removed. So Thanos said, as long as there are those who remember what was, there will always be those who cannot accept what can be. And that's the problem with Chicago.
Exactly.
Chicago collectively is living in the past. Oh, we were great. Larry Hoover did, and then really it wasn't so great. It was just a time that's romanticized. And so very much Black people cannot handle that. The city has to grow, it has to evolve, it has to move forward. And they need to make sure that they have a larger footprint in that evolution than they have currently.
Exactly.
So but they rather cling on to the past. So
Imagine that it's like people in LA. Imagine it's like people in LA today. They claim like Tookie Williams. Oh, LA was better when Tookie Williams was around. Come on, bro.
Nah, LA people move. They progressive. They ain't worried about.
They progress on that because they know at the end of the day what people want: stability, progress, and money.
And
Chicago want to stay behind, and now what they do, they blaming immigrant. And I can tell you, watch, it's not gonna be better.
If Larry Hoover had the opportunities back then that Black people have today, Larry Hoover would have never became a drug dealer. He would have been rich off of something, real estate, something like that. We got to understand, we got way more options than these dudes had, and we got to act like it. And so, but thank you, TSM. I appreciate you. That was a good message. I gotta go. This game is on, and my Trojans are down. I'm gonna holler at all y'all later. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank y'all for showing me love, rocking with me tonight. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Till the next time. Peace.
Peace.